a lot of it is about really being willing to step up and say, I too am really concerned about this. This is how it's touched my life, or this is how I see it in my community, and then wanting to fight for it.
One of the things that I think everybody has noticed is that when it comes to the House, that there's just a wave of really progressive, engaging, charismatic, truly caring people that are now in the House, or now poised to be in the House, you yourself included. And so you have the Truth to Power Political Action Committee that has supported a number of progressive candidates. One on my TV show I just had on, Jamal Bowman, who's terrific, and he's great. You got Richie Torres. So seeing all these wave of candidates, what do you attribute to the fact that people like yourself and Jamal, even starting with, AOC, and that they have decided that they're going to get involved in this fight? What do you attribute why there has been so much change at that particular level?
No, I mean, I think Donald Trump's presidency did galvanize a lot of people. And I think for a lot of people, it wasn't necessarily him winning so much as it came a little bit later with what he then did. But I think, one of the things that's great about the class of 2018, and it's going to be so true about the new members who are coming to Congress from all around the country, is most of us didn't serve in elected office. Now, some of us did. And those people bring a valuable perspective, I have to say. Like some of my colleagues, like Veronica Escobar, who's been in office, I sometimes go to them because they have a perspective on some of this that I don't. But I think the fact that we're seeing people like a middle school principal, right? Like, if you think it's tough to take on the Republicans, like you try taking on middle school kids. Like Jamal is gonna, be no problem, right? Standing up for what he believes in Congress. And so one of the great things about Truth to Power is this leadership organization is that we've really tried to identify candidates who have life experiences that they are willing to use and draw upon to make policy. So they're not people who are pretending that everything in their life has been great. These are not people who necessarily were not born into money. They had to overcome obstacles, whether it was homelessness, like Candace Valenzuela, whether it was having a parent with a mental health problem, whatever it is. These are people who have overcome challenges and therefore believe that the other Americans can too. And they want to make sure that other Americans get those opportunities. And for me, we need a lot more people like that. And some of my colleagues, you would think nothing wrong has ever happened to them. And I'm like, do you not, like, I go to the pharmacy and I get told that generic drug is $50 and I want to poke my eyes out. Like, I don't know what's wrong with them. Like, do they not get sick? And so, I think a lot of it is about really being willing to step up and say, I too am really concerned about this. This is how it's touched my life, or this is how I see it in my community, and then wanting to fight for it. So it's a terrific group of people. I'm really, really excited about the House becoming a more dynamic place. And I think we need to commit to building a multi-generational, multiracial leadership structure. And so that is something that we need to continue to press upon in the next Congress too, is trying to elevate voices at different levels of experience, both age and I think experience being in the House.
Yeah, because there are some politicians that I look at, Mitch McConnell, who I'm like, do you even like people? Like, I don't even understand this dude. Like, it's like you hate people. Like, why are you running in something that is about a public service? And I think that is the part that people forget. Before I play this fun little game with you, Representative Porter, let me ask you, how do you like the sound of Senator Katie Porter for representing the great state of California?
I'm really, really excited just about truly cannot say how excited I am about watching Kamala Harris help Joe Biden win the presidency and become our vice president. So that is just such a delight. When everyone was like, oh, look, she's so cool, she has sneakers. And I was like, she's always been cool. Like I'm so glad that more people are getting to see that. And we are very fortunate in California to have so many talented leaders up and down the state, at the local level, at the county level, in state government, and the federal government. There are so many choices. And so, I obviously, this person, whoever this senator will be, will represent me and my very discerning constituent kids. So I want this person to be a fighter, I want this person to be a leader. I want this person to push forward what they care about and understand the incredible responsibility that comes with representing a state as large and as diverse as California. But I'm at this point, to be honest, I'm really, really focused every single day on making it through the day. Like, did I forget a child somewhere? Did I forget to get on a call? What am I going to do for dinner? I mean, today I'm very preoccupied with this disaster to be with this cooking show.
Yeah. Well, did they tell you what you're going to make?
Yeah, they initially wanted me to make, basically they gave me a choice of 5 variants of something. And the thing is, I have a huge aversion to macaroni and cheese.
Wait,
huge
what?
aversion.
You don't like it?
No, huge aversion. So when I was in 4th grade, I got the stomach flu. It had nothing to do with the macaroni and cheese. But then after 4th grade, when I was 10, I was puke free since 1983. Didn't get sick for 30 years after that. And so I just have this association with macaroni and cheese. So it's so bad that if I go into a restaurant and someone orders it, I have to be reseated. It's creepy. It's mostly psychological. So they gave me 5 versions of macaroni and cheese and I was like, I can't do this. So now I'm making chicken thighs with things my children will pick out of the dish. So I think it's chicken thighs with Kalamata olives and feta and grape tomatoes or something.
So that had to be craft. It had to be craft that you had the bad experience with. There was no way that was somebody's homemade macaroni and cheese.
Oh, that was the school cafeteria, yeah.
So, Katie, representative, look, you may not know this, but you're invited to the cookout. All right. If you're invited to the cookout, mac and cheese is gonna be there. We have to change this. Somebody out there has to make you some marvelous macaroni and cheese so you can get over this. Don't let the school cafeteria mac and cheese rob you of this joy that is.
You know how they would put it in the scoop and it would stay in that molded shape?
No, that's a bad sign. That's bad macaroni and cheese.